and working together. We can't do it on our own. Can you do it on your own? Can you fly through the air from Seattle? No. You need the help of all those people. In the same way, just to move your finger like this, there are minimum 33 million demigods. You have to get them all cooperating to be able to move the finger. And the demigods are being controlled by Krishna. So we don't realize how relative we are. Everything we do depends ultimately on Krishna. And Krishna has this network, just like Boeing, to build the airplane, has its CEO and stockholders, but it has 120,000 employees. And they all have to be working together, coordinated, organized. You know how many parts there are in an airplane? Huh?
I just thought that there's even more people now, because the people that build the parts,
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
First, the parts, it's thousands of parts. And they're not all made in one place. They're made in different places. And they have to all come together exactly at the right time so that their assembly line doesn't stop in Everett. Right? If they're missing some parts, they can't put the airplane together. So it all has to be coordinated. It's a tremendous amount of organization. And that's nothing compared to the universe and how the universe is running. So you need minimum 33 million demigods to get the universe to work. And behind it all is Krishna. So this verse says, "In all activities, just depend upon me, and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me." In the purport, Prabhupada says, one should act according to the order of Krishna. 18th chapter, 57th verse of Bhagavad Gita. Is it up there? What's up? What's it? You have the 18th chapter, 57th verse of Bhagavad Gita. Is that it?
No. We're just wondering, we're stepping on
What?
Just wondering on the
Anyway, it says, one should, however, note that after doing something whimsically, he should not offer the result to the Supreme Lord. That sort of duty is not in the devotional service of Krishna consciousness. One should act according to the order of Krishna. That is very important. That order of Krishna comes through the disciplic succession from the bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, the spiritual master's order should be taken as the prime duty of life. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his direction, then one's perfection of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. So, we're talking about goal and process, sadhya and sadhana. Let's repeat. What is the goal of life as explained in the first verse of the Siksastakam? Who can say what the goal of life is? Yes. To taste the nectar of Radha and Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Yes, and develop love for Radha and Krishna, and always engage in pure devotional service or bhakti for Radha and Krishna. This is the goal of life. Okay? 3 components, 3 things. Always taste the nectar. Always taste the nectar of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Develop love for Radha and Krishna, and always engage in pure devotional service for Radha and Krishna. So this is explained as the goal in the first verse of Chaitanya Siksastakam. And then the process, how to do that, is to purify by chanting. The first thing that happens is it purifies all desires for selfish sense gratification. That's the first thing that happens by chanting Hare Krishna. Now, when that process begins of purification, one becomes steady, and they decide that I should always take instructions from bona fide gurus. Two types of gurus. What are they? Actually, there's three types, but the two main. What? Diksha and Shiksha gurus, right? So, therefore, if one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his direction, then one's perfection of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. So this is the fundamental step in the process of how to always taste the nectar of the holy name, is to be under the instruction of bona fide guru. Now, what does that mean, to be under the instruction of a bona fide guru? That means a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. So, therefore, one becomes steady because whatever one is feeling in their heart, oh, I should do this or I should do that, if it's confirmed by the spiritual master or masters, Siksha and Diksha Guru, then you know it's right. And if it's not confirmed, then you know it's wrong. So that way, you never deviate from Krishna consciousness. And most people don't realize this. Therefore, they'll make whimsical decisions. What does whimsical mean? Anybody know what whimsical? W-H-I-M-I-C-A-L. S-I-C-A-L. W-H-I-M-S-I-C-A-L. Whimsical. Yes?
I'm confirmed this, but I think it means to do a clumsy action.
Close, yeah. What happened to the microphones? Okay, turn it on. And say it again. You think it means to do some clumsy action, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how to turn it on?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, speak into it.
I think it means...
Okay, it's not on. No, it's good. Keep that. Take one phone over there to the girl, to the ladies. Okay, speak into the microphone so you can turn it on.
I think it means to, do a clumsy action or mistake.
Is that green light on in that microphone? Okay.
Yellow. Yeah.
Okay, speak into the microphone.
I think it means to do a clumsy action or mistake.
No, it's not right. It's not right. It's close, but it's not right. Yes. Whimsical. Give the microphone over here. He wants to speak.
To act without consideration of long-term reactions to your action that you're engaging in at that moment.
Yes. That's very, very...
To act without consideration of consequences.
Yes. Yeah? Yes? What's a whim? What is a whim? How do you spell whim, first of all? Okay, she needs the microphone. All these things should be ready in the beginning of the class. Test the microphone. Is it on? Okay, how do you spell whim? Okay, that's not... Yes.
W-H-I-M.
Yes, and what does it mean?
Erratic.
What? What does it mean?
C.
What did you say?
Erratic?
What does erratic mean?
So Prabhuji, acting in some weird way, just without thinking anything, and clumsy way, and unpredictable. 1 minute something, another minute something else.
A whim is anything that comes into the mind. Like, for example, oh, I think I'm going to jump off the bridge today. That's a whim. Oh, I don't think I'm going to chant any rounds today. I'm just going to sleep. That's a whim. Right? So when you act whimsically, you act irresponsibly. Not paying attention to duty, not paying attention to obligations. Just whatever comes into the mind, you decide to do it. Right? So, sometimes we have whims in our mind. But if we act on it, we're extremely irresponsible. Therefore, a devotee never does anything without getting permission of Shiksha or Diksha gurus. In general, the Shiksha and Diksha gurus will always agree. If there's a disagreement between them, and that has happened before, even one time in the case of Maharaj Priyavata, Narada Muni wanted him to take sannyas, and his father Brahma refused. And then because Brahma's the leader of the Brahma Samhita, Narada Muni deferred to Brahma. He said, okay, he told Priyavata, you listen to what Brahma said. Mayapur, you sit over here, please. You sit over here and pay attention. So that's a case where Narada Muni was the guru of Priyavata, but Brahma is the guru of Narada Muni. And Brahma disagreed with Narada Muni, and then Narada Muni said, okay, so then you stay married, but you cultivate renunciation within your heart, detachment within your heart. And when the right time comes, then you take sannyas. So he eventually did take sannyas, but he waited because Narada Muni agreed that Brahma's instruction should be taken as the primary instruction. So sometimes there may be a disagreement, but usually there isn't. Okay, so if you follow these two verses, verse number 57 says, in all activities just depend upon me and work always under my protection. That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So if we always depend upon Krishna, and how do we know what Krishna wants? Krishna, if you have a bona fide guru, then you will know what Krishna wants. He'll tell you what Krishna wants. He or she will tell you. And then the next verse, Mat chitta sarvadurgani, mat prasada tarishyasi atashet tvam ahankara nasrosyasi vinaksyasi. If you become conscious of me, Krishna says, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So here we have two fundamental verses that explain how to remain steady in devotional service. So if anyone ever asks you a question, how can I be steady in devotional service? What's your answer? Read, yes? Yeah, of course, chanting. But chanting what? Chanting la 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 la? Or chanting Hare Krishna? Which chanting? Yes. But the answer is given in 18th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, verses 57 and 58. So, which verse is that? Is that 58? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So Krishna is saying, if you hear me, then you will never be lost. But if you don't hear me, then you'll be lost. So sometimes we don't know what to do. Therefore, that's when we have to ask advice from spiritual authorities. Okay, so we're discussing goal and process. So the first thing is this chanting. And the first benefit of the chanting is our desire for sense gratification gradually goes away. And we become cleansed of unclean desires. Any desire that takes us away from Krishna. Okay, and then the second thing is we feel very fortunate. As soon as material desires go away, you feel fortunate. Why? Because the material desires are forcing us to undergo all kinds of different difficult situations, and usually those situations break our regularity or steadiness in devotional service. So the second thing, benefit of chanting, is you feel fortunate. Now good luck is happening to me. Because before I was in anxiety. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I go here? Should I stay here? Now I don't have that anxiety. I'm going to stay and be steady in devotional service. And then, and that frees you up. You feel relief. Because you don't have to worry anymore. If I do this, what's going to happen? No. You stay steady. And then we're convinced that Krishna will protect us in all circumstances. Then we become happy. We start feeling happy. When you don't know what's going to happen to you, and you don't feel protected, do you feel happy? No, you feel anxiety, fear. You start to worry. What's going to happen? Who's going to protect me? So, first thing that happens when you chant Hare Krishna, material desires begin to go away. And they're replaced. It's not that there's no desires. The material desires are replaced by spiritual desires. I want to serve Prabhupada and Krishna. I want to come every day for Mangal Arati. I want to chant my rounds every day, very good rounds. And I want to hear the classes, and I want to do service. The whole purpose of studying Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is to be convinced that I want to do service, and I want to be regulated in the service. Okay. Because service is our connection to Krishna. There's no difference between serving Krishna in this world and serving Krishna in the spiritual world. Both service is spiritual. Like, for example, let's say you were a Singer sewing machine in this world. When you go back to, when the Singer sewing machine goes back to Godhead, what does it become? It remains a sewing machine, but instead of sewing nonsense clothes, it sews clothes only for the deities. So, yes.
Name changes from Singer sewing machine to Krishna sewing machine.
Yeah, there's a name change. Instead of Singer Das, he becomes Krishna Das. No, but the service is the same, but it's no longer being done for nonsense. It's being done for Krishna, right? Yeah. So if you go back to Godhead, right? You cannot go back to Godhead unless you're trained for serving in the spiritual world. So what is that training? You're trained here to serve Krishna. And when you're perfect at it, that means your mind is not deviating from it, no more following whimsical desires, then you're ready to go back to Godhead. You're already in Godhead because you're serving Krishna full time here. Yeah.
I have a practical example of that. So I'm studying for the Bhagavad Gita class for this evening.
Yeah.
When I was studying last night, I was like, wow, I'm studying for school. I can't get paid, but actually I'm really enjoying studying for this test because I have deeper realizations because of the study guide that's been provided for the test. And so simply changing it, studying for understanding Bhagavad Gita and spiritual knowledge, it becomes glorious, whereas you're studying for mundane knowledge, it's more abstract.
Well, yes, everything in Krishna consciousness will be happy if you follow the rules and regulations. Yeah. Susukam kartum avyayam, 9th chapter, 2nd verse, Krishna says that this Krishna consciousness is always joyful. So if you're not happy in Krishna consciousness, it's because you're committing offenses. There's offenses against the holy name, there are offenses against Vaishnavas, and there's offenses against the holy Dhamma, holy places. So when you commit offenses, or let's say sinful activities, even if you're chanting Hare Krishna, you're not happy. But when you give up offensive behavior, you become very happy chanting Hare Krishna. See? Okay, so one feels happy because the struggle for survival is no longer prominent in your life. What does that mean, struggle for survival? What is the struggle for survival? Yes. No, so, Yamuna.
Like your daily day-to-day struggles in life to live. Like you have to like go to school, or like have to tolerate things happening, or you have to get food or something like that.
Yes.
Their struggles.
Everyone's struggling. Like, for example, when in the morning you hear the birds chirping. Chirp, 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 chirp. Right? They're all talking early in the morning. You wake up, you hear them outside. You know what they're saying? Where's food? Did you see any food? Oh, is there an enemy over there that might kill us? Oh, be careful. You ever see a bird eat? Can anyone imitate a bird eating? No, that's not it. Yeah, he puts his head down, but he keeps looking this way and that way all the time. Why does he keep turning? He eats something, then he looks this way and that way. Why is he doing that? What? No, not take his food. It might kill him. Yeah. Well, maybe, but it's looking around, make sure there's no cat or some other predator that might come and kill him. No, but the cats can kill the birds easily because they're sneaky and they're fast. You see? And there's snakes also that kill birds, and there's all kinds of animals that kill birds. So the birds are always worried. They're worried about two things. Where's food and where are the enemies? You see? That's called the struggle for existence. Just like your mom or your dad and your mom, they go to work every morning. Why are they going to work? Why do you think they go to work? Yes? Yeah, they're going to work because they have to earn money so that there's food to eat, and so that there's a place to sleep, and so that there's clothes, or as they say in Hindi, roti makan, kapra makan. Yeah, roti kapra makan, which means roti means bread, kapra means clothing, and makan means a place to stay or a home. Yes.
Prabhuji, we used to study Maslow's hierarchy, in which the
What? You studied what?
Maslow's hierarchy they teach in MBA. So that's like
Master's Saraki.
Maslow's, MASLOW.
Maslow's?
Can you bring it up, Prabhu?
What is Maslow's hierarchy?
So he says that basic is roti, kapda, and makan, and all the security needs and blah blah blah. Then the last step is self-realization, And but in devotees, even though we are not able to do, we see some devotees who don't have basic needs meet, let's say in India or anywhere,
Basic needs met.
met, but still they are able to focus on self-realization. So his theory fails for Krishna conscious people. Perhaps.
Who was Maslow? You said Maslow?
Yes, Prabhuji.
M-A-Z-L-O?
MASLOW.
Maslow's what? What is it? Hierarchy. Oh. Never heard of that before.
Showing there. So the basic they are showing is the psychological
Is Maslow an
needs.
Indian or what?
No, it's a management
Okay.
pyramid.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, people they need certain things. So you have to work to get them. But there's a struggle at work. Sometimes you lose your job. Sometimes you have competition. Sometimes there's economic downturn. Sometimes there's war. And people are struggling all the time just to make ends meet.
So Prabhu, if you see behind, it's like a triangle. The basic needs, safety needs, psychological needs, food, water, warmth. Then you have the upper esteem needs, belongingness and love needs. Then the final is the self-fulfillment needs, self-actualization. So he still didn't talk about self-realization. He's talking about self-actualization.
Self-actualization, what he means is you become like Jeff Bezos. You know,
yeah, achieving one's full
Richest
potential.
guy in the world. That's what he means by self-actualization. You become what you're supposed to be. Yes. Okay, so when you chant Hare Krishna, the struggle for existence, in other words, feeling anxiety just to survive, diminishes, because you begin to taste the nectar of chanting the holy name, and thus you become free from that anxiety. Why? Because you know Krishna will take care of you. How do you know Krishna will take care of you? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ananya chintayanto mam. Anybody know this verse? Ye jana paryupasate. Ninth chapter, what is it, 22nd verse? What does it say? Out loud, out loud. Provide. No, provide what you lack and preserve what you have. Yeah. 9th chapter, 22nd verse, Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is promising to take care of his devotee in this verse. So when you chant Hare Krishna, you begin to develop faith, and then you actually see it happen. How Krishna has relieved you of this anxiety, and you're tasting the nectar of the holy name, and you feel Krishna's helping hand. Just like there was one devotee, I explained, his H-1B visa was coming to an end. That means he had to go back to India. So he came to me and said, what should I do? I have to leave. I don't want to leave. I want to stay here. I like this temple. I said, well, if your desire is genuinely pure to stay here and continue doing service for Krishna, then you just pray to Krishna to help you remain steady in your service. What happened? He won the lottery. And he doesn't have to go to India now. He's got the next 5 years, he's safe in the United States, 5 or 6 years. 3 years, okay. So, because he had a pure desire, not just to stay in America, but to stay near the temple and be able to come and do service. He and his wife. And they come every day to the temple. and they do service. So, you see, Krishna will take care of his devotees as long as the desire is pure. If the desire is impure, then you cannot expect Krishna to take care of you. But if the desire is genuine to engage in devotional service, Krishna will help you. So he makes the struggle for existence much easier for the devotee. So, first of all, the desire for sense gratification goes away. One feels very fortunate. Then one feels happy because the struggle for existence becomes much easier by Krishna's mercy. And then one realizes that I really don't need so many material things. I just need a few things in order to continue doing service. And I can do all my other duties, take care of my family, and so forth. So therefore, one voluntarily downsizes the material needs. Most people can't do it. Most people keep accumulating junk until they have so much junk they have to rent a storage container or a storage space. Have you seen all these storage space companies? Yeah. They make a lot of money. Why? Because people accumulate junk and they can't separate themselves from it. So they don't have enough room in their house or their apartment to keep all that junk, so they rent a place. It costs them, $100, $200 a month. And how often do they see that junk? Yeah. Yeah. You see? Whereas a devotee downsizes.
They have a show on TV about storage spaces.
You saw a show about storage spaces on TV.
I remember 5 years ago, there was a show on TV about storage spaces that were abandoned, and they would have auctions on the storage spaces, and people would go auction off these storage spaces because you would find antiques, like records, or comic books.
People's junk, yeah.
And then people buy it, and then they sell all the junk, and they get money for it.
Yeah.
It's a whole TV show.
So other people like to buy junk. You can make by selling the junk, you see. So this is what happens. We accumulate things, but actually what do you need? You need actually very few things. But people just go crazy. They go to Costco. They go to Costco to buy 2 pounds of bananas, and they come home with a new television. And people say, well, how come you bought that? Oh, it was on sale. Well, you only went to buy some bananas. I know, but to get to the bananas, I had to walk through the television section, and I saw this television for sale. Huh?
That's the first thing you see when you walk in there is all the TVs.
And the computers, and the cell phones, and the cameras. Yeah. See now, how do you think? Do you think Costco purposely planned the entrance? Yeah, they purposely planned the entrance, so you have to walk through all the computers, the cell phones, the televisions, vacuum cleaners. Right, and then they put all the vegetables and fruits way at the end, right? They do that on purpose. Yeah.
When you're walking out, there's all the cool snacks and everything, so then you get so lured to them when you're...
Yeah. They have the whole thing planned out psychologically. That you go in there just to spend, $30, you end up spending $300.
And we have the latest kids movie playing on all
Yes. Now you know why I never go to Costco. And I haven't been to Costco I would say 30 years. I used to go when I was in Berkeley because I would do the shopping for the temple. But, I decided that, never go to God. Well, I do go to get gasoline now, but that's only recently. But I never walk in because it's a trap. It's a trap, and then you get addicted to it. You can't stop. You have to go every week. You know. Yeah. But the casino is worse. The casinos, they use the best psychologists in the world to trap people. So that I have never been to a casino. I went. There's a saying: "Fools run in where angels fear to tread." Okay, let's repeat that. Fools run in.
Fools run in.
Okay, once again. Fools run in
Fools run in.
where angels
Where angels
fear to tread.
fear to tread.
What does that mean? Yes, Krishna too.
That means like where angels are, like when the good people don't, where it's a trap and you'll get intoxicated and stuff. The fools go there, something like that.
Yeah, the fools run in, and the angels are afraid even to step 1 foot near it. Right? So there are places like that. They're traps. You know, Maya's traps, casinos, horse races, boxing, wrestling things, baseball games, football games, basketball games. But see, the stadiums for those things are much bigger than temples. And the amount of money they spend on the stadiums just to see a ball go into a hoop. Like huge amount of money. And a lot of people go to those places, you know. Okay. So, when you downsize all that junk. Then you have plenty of time for Krishna's service and to learn about Krishna and to chant Hare Krishna. And you learn to minimize or downsize everything that's unnecessary so that you have maximum time for Krishna consciousness. Then you see your struggle for existence becomes easy because your needs become minimal. And you have plenty of time for Krishna consciousness as well as your work and all your other obligations in life. It's only when we accept more than we need that our life becomes complicated and we don't have time for Krishna. It gets so complicated there's no time for Krishna. There's only time for wasting time. Now, if you had a job in which you could make $86,400 a day, but there's a caveat. Does anyone know what caveat means? Yeah. Caveat means a warning. The warning is you can earn that much money every day, but you have to spend it before the day is over. Otherwise, there's no carryover balance. You lose whatever you don't spend. Okay. So, every day you make $86,400, but if you can't spend all of it in the day, you lose it, and you have to start all over the next day. Yes?
You told that story.
I know I told the story, but not everyone was there. Okay? So, would you accept such an arrangement? First of all, it takes time to earn $86,400 a day. You have to work for it. But you will, this arrangement is that if you work, let's say you're trading stocks, you will make that much money. But then you have to spend it before the day is over. Do you think you would be able to spend all that money before the day is over?
No.
Huh? Yes, Sanskriti. Give it to the
temple.
Well, that's you, but everybody out there would not give it all to the temple. Yeah. But that's a good thing. I hope you earn $86,400 a day. So, now, let's do a little calculation. How many seconds are there in a minute?
86,000.
In a minute? 60. And how many minutes are there in an hour?
3,600.
And how many hours are there in a day?
86,400.
Yeah, so then how many seconds are there in a day?
86,902.
No, there's 86,400 seconds in a day. So you have, every one of us has 86,400 seconds a day. But if you don't use them properly, you lose them. You see. So you do have 86,400 valuable things every day. But if you waste them, don't use them in Krishna's service, you lose it. And it'll never come back. Right? So then what's the most valuable thing you have? Time. Should you use time in Krishna's service? Good. Hare Krishna. So today we're going over last week's lessons. Last week, Friday and Saturday. And we'll finish right after the class.